Now, you said you hadn't recorded anything in about a year. What is it about Lyric Jones that made you want to record?
Well, one of the things I love about Lyric is she reminds me a lot of myself, you know, when I was that age. Very, you know, hungry, driven, dope, talented. She doesn't take no for an answer. Not that, you know, and I actually never said no to her, but she's one of those type of people, like, you know, when you're in this business and you're getting pulled in a million different directions, it's real easy to say, yeah, I got you, yeah, I got you. You know, it's easy to tell a million different people, yeah, I got you covered, and then things kind of slip your mind. She's definitely one of those people that will, like, stay on it and get the job done. Like, I really see the passion for the culture in her, and when I see that, you know, I feed off of that energy, because as you notice, like a lot of previous generation artists, you know, we feel some type of way, you know, when the new generation is, I guess, lackadaisical with the culture and just kind of, you know, being irresponsible about the direction it's going, and making sure, you know, the true elements are preserved. So when you find that young artist that really understands the culture and is really passionate about the preservation as we are, it's like, hey, you know, I gotta nurture that.
Now, you mentioned you recorded the record with her, and then you received text messages and people start reaching out to you. Can we expect some new stuff with you and some other artists coming up, or?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I'm always working. Like, I'm constantly collaborating. I think I do more collaborations than actual, you know, Rah Digga music, but that's about to change, because I'm actually getting ready to team up with one of my premier producers when I get to Charlotte. He goes by the name of Pilot Dope Brother. He produced the track Angela Davis that you heard earlier this evening. Like, we having he a young boy too. We got a nice chemistry together. So I'm gonna spend some time with him in Charlotte and just kind of, you know, see if we can put a whole project together. Like, the same way I felt when I first met Knots, and that chemistry that we had, and one of the reasons why I'm drawn to him so much. You know, I get that from this guy. So I said, you know what, let me make a real concentrated effort to spend some time with you and kind of help you, you know, down the path of righteousness, and in turn, you know, help me, and let's see where this goes. So you can definitely expect new Rah Digga music. Aside from that, I'm constantly leaking things through my SoundCloud, Rah Digga music, releasing things on TuneCore. So I never stop.
Okay, no, good. Good. Talk to us about the, you say you're teaching a hip-hop class, is it?
Yes, I have an organization called Lyrics Matter, and I created a workshop where I'm teaching youth. It started in my community. It was a program that I developed to kind of get kids off the street and just give them, you know, give them something to do besides cause trouble amongst themselves, and really try to teach them, you know, teach them life, not just teach them hip hop, but teach them life lessons using hip hop as a vehicle, because that's how I learned a lot of my life lessons. You know, I was a very sheltered child. Like, I believed in rainbows and unicorns and things as a kid, and it was certain hip hop songs that really taught me about life, things that my own mother and father couldn't teach me. So I want to make sure that the new generation doesn't get robbed of that, because I just feel like music is so business now and so corporate that they're not really getting a chance to experience the essence that, you know, unfortunately my generation of boom bappers.
What are the ages that you?
I like to teach ages 16 and up. I try to deal with, you know, the college kids, the older high school kids. I just recently started working with some middle school kids, but that's a different audience. You know, you're trying to teach them history, because in essence it is a history class. Like, I'm teaching them in the way that they're learning in school. Like, you're learning about Roxanne Shante, the way you go to school and learn about Queen Victoria. MC Light is hip hop's Queen Elizabeth. Lauryn Hill is our Princess Di. So I designed it in a way that it is informative, like, and still educational, but fun. I take them to radio stations, I take them to the studio, I let them, you know, release their inner creativity, and they learn a lot. Like, I like for them to see how much, you know, how, I guess, enriching hip hop is, and not just being an artist, but also behind the scenes. Like, there's so many different jobs and career paths that they can explore. I had a girl that was studying for law once come into class and could sing circles around Jennifer Hudson if she got the opportunity. Like, you know, I'm drawing things out of them that they didn't even know they had. And I think when it comes from an actual artist that they can, you know, relate to, whether or not they grew up with me, because I know I'm relatively old school to them, but then, you know, I'll have an orientation day, then they come to class the second day. My mama said you her favorite. My daddy said, can you take this picture for my mama? Can you take this picture for my daddy? So it's like, they don't know me. Like, the kids will kind of be sitting there like, well, we did see her in that Scary Movie, but they may not be familiar with me musically. But the teachers and the staff and all in the background like, can we take a picture? And then the kids are looking at them like, why y'all acting all crazy? But, you know, hey, I'm a legend. You better look me up now. It's fun. It's fun for me. It's fun for them. And I think when they, you know, when they see I can just pick up a phone and walk them into the radio stations and the record labels and stuff, it's like, okay, well, we don't know her as a rapper, but she got some juice. Yeah. And I really make a difference in their lives. I really impact them. Like, there was a kid in my class who was literally like shot the second day of class. He was involved in, you know, an incident, and he made his way back to class the day after, bullet in his back, bandage and all. He didn't want to miss the field trip to RCA Records. Wow. So I said, wow, you know, if I inspire you that much, then I must be doing something right. And I get federal funding from the city, from the state, because they, you know, they see what I'm doing. It's not every day an actual artist wants to, you know, volunteer their time and services like that. So.
Oh, that's good. Good. Now you talk about what hip hop does for those kids in that area. What has hip hop meant to you? What has hip hop done for you, as you know, as an artist and as a person?
I think hip hop has basically molded my life. Like, it taught me a lot of life lessons, and it made me out to be the strong, independent person I am today. I mean, definitely it has a lot to do with my foundation at home. I had great parents. I don't have that typical cliche rapper story. Oh, I was homeless. Oh, my dad is in jail. My mom's a crackhead. Like, no, I had beautiful, loving parents, married, 40 plus years, stable home. I actually was a little bit of a geek in school. I got a scholarship to attend a top-notch private school. I got a full scholarship to attend MIT. I was a physics and calculus major. Like, I have a very different story from the typical, rapper stories that you hear. And with all of that, I still gravitated to music. Like, my parents, they played music. Like, as a child, I remember listening to music every day, all day long. And then when I started hearing these rap songs, things started like connecting to me. Like, I would hear an EPMD song and I'd say, wait a minute, I recognize that beat. That was a song from the Zap album that my mom used to play. And that's what really made me fall in love with hip hop, like listening to these sounds that resonated with me from my childhood. And then as I'm listening to what they were saying, of course, there was way more substance, and there was, I guess, on the heels of the civil rights era, there were a lot of strong messages in hip hop, and my parents were Panthers, so I just, you know, I just embodied all of it, and I think a lot of that has to do with, you know, the Rah Digga I am today. Like, there's so many different artists and so many different styles, but there's a reason that Rah Digga is so rah-rah, and I just, you know, I just like to convey that in all of my music.
And speaking of civil rights, we're in a
very tumultuous
time right now with our country and the president-elect and things going forward. What do you how do you feel about where this country is right now, and with the race relations? A lot of things happened with when Donald Trump was elected, the president. Certain things start popping up across the country, you know, white supremacists and things like that. What do you feel about, you know, the path I guess we're gonna take? And I know you don't know where we're going, but what do you feel about who we've kind of selected as a country to lead us?
You know, I would like to do some digging on this damn electoral college. I want to know who is elected in the electoral college. While we worrying about electing presidents and things of that nature, I want to know who these people are. Because if 2 million plus people voted for this woman, Hillary Clinton, who are these people that are saying no, it goes to him? That's what, you know, we need to really start looking into that as a people. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. He's here, we have to deal. I think the best advice I can give to people is just to continue to be the best you. I think it's interesting because one of the observations I've made is the minority community is really kind of passé about it. It's like, well, you know, we kind of suffer whether it's Democrat or Republican.
Right.
Like we didn't really, you know, have so much of outrage. I'm noticing there are more, like, you know, Caucasians that are protesting and,
right,
you know, up in arms about it. And it's like, okay, did you just figure out that America was this racist, weird place? So I think it's interesting to see the, you know, the people that are, I guess, outraging in this manner. But for me, I would just hope that this would be a good wake-up call for our people to say, look, okay, you guys kind of got a little comfortable with Obama being in office.
Right.
It's about to get really real.
Right.
Get your shit together.
right.
That's the best advice I could give.
Talk to us a little bit about the Ski Mask Way tour, how the name came about. I know you and Lyric Jones are on this tour. Talk to us about how it came together.
Well, basically, the Ski Mask Way tour came together. Well, it's a multi-part series. It started with Lyric Jones inviting me out to LA for a Jones Experience show. And I was a guest at that show. And I hung out in California for about a week, because anytime I travel out west, I always like to just turn it into like a little vacay. So the last day of my stay out there, she said, "Yo, let's do a joint." Actually, she had kind of hinted at it throughout the week. But I'm like, look, I'm vacationing. I'm not out here trying to do any excess work outside of what I came for. But the last day, we had some wine, and I was like, you know what? I'm with it. Let's go. And it took us like the whole day to do it, because like I was taking naps, she was taking naps. Basically, I was just killing time waiting to get on the plane. So we ended up recording a joint, and I went home and didn't think anything else about it. I know she hit me up like, yo, sis, I'm about to leak it. I'm like, hey, go for it, it's fire. And next thing you know, like, I'm starting to get all these hits on social media, like, yo, that new joint fire. People texting me, I ain't heard from in a while, like, yo, I heard the new joint is fire. I'm like, okay, this record is going somewhere. And this was actually like my first time recording in probably like a year, because I had fell back for a little bit, took some time off. I'm actually teaching in Jersey now. I'm teaching hip hop to, for the community back in my hometown, Brick City. So that was like my, I guess my re-entry back into the studio. And she leaked it, and it got such a dope response that she hit me up and said, "Yo, let's shoot a video for this." And in the midst of doing that video, I was like, "Hey, well, there's different markets and stuff that want to see this and hear this." So a video actually turned into a tour, and we just shot the video last week, and we've been on the move ever since. This is what I do, and also, it makes a statement. It shows the world that, hey, females can come together and rock, and older artists can work with newer artists just the same. So we getting it done.
Right. Now, I believe there's an interesting story behind the name, how the Ski Mask
Ski
Way.
Mask. Well, the name Ski Mask Way came from an incident where we were trying to find a restaurant to eat at for Lyric's birthday. That was, that's what I was in LA for, celebrating a birthday. And the restaurant we were trying to go to had like the crazy 2-hour wait. And I was like, yo, we could just totally ski mask our way into the situation. One of us posts up at the bar, another one of us, just kind of play the door, and we just slither our way into a seat. And so that became kind of like the theme for the whole trip. Like everything was like, oh, the ski mask situation, like tax sale, ski mask, like it kind of became like an inside joke. But when it came time to do the actual record, like we're going through beats and stuff, and this shout out to Backpack Beats. This one particular beat came on. I was like, yo, that's kind of ski mask way-ish. Like, we need to make that the name of the song, and it pretty much, it was pretty much the soundtrack for the trip.